So prayer and time must be compatible. Prayer does not disrespect time. Time does not disrespect prayer. So we must submit to the authority of both prayer and time working together, with the authority of God reigning over both of them. Praying is uncomfortable for us because our bodies act as if the prayer will be answered instantly. We must train our bodies to stop expecting instant rewards. The mind instantly shoots to hoping the prayer will be answered immediately. But you need to keep your mind in the atmosphere of sitting with the Lord. When we want our prayers to be answered instantly by our actions, I'm not speaking on what we say out of our mouth, because clearly what we say don't always line up with what we do. So when we're in prayer, and we can only pray for 5 minutes at a time, we're saying without saying with words that we don't believe that God is capable of changing our lives or changing the flaws within us. God created time as a tool for not only us to use, but for Him to use in answering our prayers strategically and according to the law of time. God is not going to go against the law of time because we're impatient. So when you're praying, keep in mind, because this has helped me to stay consistent in prayer, and it's basically increased my faith when I'm praying, to know that God is faithful and just to answer according to the law of time. So it basically kicked out this delusion in my mind that made me think that just because He's God, He's finna just drop the answer in my lap today because I'm praying today. So the point of this video is to get us to stop being delusional about how praying works. When you're praying, you have to give God the luxury to embed the answered prayers into time at the set appointed time that prayer is designed to be answered, according to the omniscience, I think that's the right word, all-knowing power of God. So I drew out this diagram to get you guys to understand how this prayer machine works in compatibility with time. I think I'm saying it right. In a way where it partners with time. So prayer and time must be compatible. Prayer does not disrespect time. Time does not disrespect prayer. So we must submit to the authority of both prayer and time working together, with the authority of God reigning over both of them. So this is the original moment when you start to pray. Imagine that you have been going through your life, all your life, not praying to God. You ain't been saying nothing to Him. You've been ignoring Him. It's just been like you doing your own thing. You got to start from here. You can't start at answered prayers. You can't start there. That's against the law. So you got to start right there. You got to start at ground zero. Here, this is when you start to pray. Your prayer enters the device and the tool of time. So after it passed this line right here, it has entered into the realm of time. God has it. The angel Raphael has took your prayer to God to be answered in His perfect timing. So you have right here, say you prayed for healing. Say this day is today, which is June the 9th or the 10th. Your prayer according to God's perfect plan. Now, this is hypothetical. This is hypothetical, obviously. Say that today you're praying for healing, and it is June the 9th or the 10th. And God's plan, based on when you initially sent that prayer off into time for God to retrieve from the angel, His divine timing is for your prayer for healing to be answered on July the 1st, 2024. So that is when God knows your prayer is going to be answered. Now, say that you pray again, and you're praying all of these powerful, amazing prayers, and now you pray for your family member to be saved or come to the faith. You don't know it, but you're praying this prayer way before. Let's say all these prayers were prayed on the same day, on June the 9th or June the 10th. Let's just say June the 10th. And this prayer, you don't know it. You got to be patient and stay consistent. You don't know it, but the prayer is going to be answered on September the 30th, 2024. So that is June, July, August. It's like 3 months away. It's 3 months away, but God has the plan to answer it if you continue to stay consistent in prayer. See, that's the weaknesses of us humans, is that we don't know God's plan for when his appointed time is for answering these prayers that we are praying to him. Because we don't know that, we faint, we grow weary, and we give up. But that's the furthest thing from what we should do, because the Bible says to pray without ceasing. He says that for a reason, because he knows that in the right season, in the appointed time, we will reap if we faint not. So say that you go on and you continue to pray on the same day, June the 10th, for provision. You're praying for, finances, or you're praying for a breakthrough in careers, or you're praying for some kind of provision. Unbeknownst to you, you're praying for all this on the same day, but you see different dates are happening for these different prayers. God said we're going to answer that prayer also on September the 30th, 2024. So God said with his all-knowing power that it's appropriate for me to answer both of these prayers on the same day due to something that this person does not know. There is a variety of factors that God is factoring in when he's deciding when to answer our prayers that we don't know about. This last prayer, maybe say you prayed on the same day, June the 9th, prayer for your ministry to grow, or prayer for, insight and character change for your ministry. He answers this prayer in his perfect plan, December the 25th, 2024. That's 7 months later. Say you gave up and you're praying for your ministry to grow. You're praying for insight, revelation. You're praying for God to help you. It's about to come on December the 25th. At the end of the year, and you prayed this June the 10th. Say you had gave up. So as we see, God is using time as a tool as well. We're not the only ones who have to manage time. God is the ultimate manager of time. And when we demand that he answer our prayers on sight, without waiting, without travailing, without contending for what we want, we're telling God, I want you to buck the law. I want you to buck the system. Give me what I want right now. No questions asked. But God is organizing events within the confines of time. That is the genius of God. He's organizing those things, but it's up to us to continue to shoot them out into the spiritual atmosphere so that he can do something with them within time. But if we don't give him any prayers to use, he has nothing to organize. He has nothing to answer in his perfect timing. And so when I realized this revelation, it strengthened my prayer life to the maximum degree, because I was able to continue to meditate on that I'm not praying in vain. I'm not just shooting stuff out aimlessly. God is actually capturing these prayers, and he's orchestrating his divine setup to bring it to pass. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Continue to pray and know that God has a timeline for you, a specific, perfect timeline. I'm talking about it's flawless. It's impeccable. And this is the mystery of prayer. This is the mystery of prayer. It's beautiful and it's amazing and it's empowering. And I'm so glad to be able to share it with y'all, that this is how prayer works. Think about this, meditate on this, and remember that when you're praying, sit with God. Don't have your mind on, is it going to be answered? Is this prayer going to come through? Am I wasting my time? Is this in vain? Nothing that you do in the presence of God is in vain. Even if you're new to prayer, God will acknowledge the fact that you're trying. He will acknowledge the fact that you are putting some kind of effort forward, because a lot of people aren't even trying. They're wishing and hoping, but they're not praying. So keep this in mind, everybody, when y'all are in the presence of the Lord, or if you want to pray and you feel like you don't want to, it's a lack of motivation. It's a lack of motivation and it's a lack of hope. But this message, I hope that it gives you motivation and hope. So thank y'all for watching this video. I hope that it blessed you, and I'll see you in the next one.